Rightio, upgrade day on the Prado. It's been a while since we've done a video on the Prado upgrading things, but this is essentially the dual battery kit that was thrown together very hastily before the Googs track trip. I needed a dual battery kit to run this fridge overnight while the car was off and not running, and we haven't had a dual battery kit in this car for a while now. Geez, since probably the first Caravan. We got rid of the dual battery as it was just too much weight and we weren't using it. We were able to run the fridge 24/7 from the Caravan pretty much. We still do that now. So this dual battery kit we've just ripped out does come in and out the car as we're using the fridge on day trips and little trips away when we're not connected to the van. So realistically, I have needed something that's a lot easier and portable, doesn't include all these wires, and it's simple to put in and take out quick. Out with the old and in with the new. Now I want to get straight off the bat that this is a sponsored video. This is sponsored by Ecoflow. We don't take a lot of sponsorships, don't barely take any actually, just because we think most of the time it's actual crap that we're not going to use, whereas this one, we've been looking at this for a while now, and the technology has finally caught up with it, which I'll explain a little bit later. But first thing, Ecoflow Delta 2. Most people know about these things, solar generators, portable battery banks, generators, whatever you want to call them, but they feature USBs all along the front here, beautiful Bluetooth and Wi-Fi app, which is bloody handy when you've got Starlink running or you've got a Wi-Fi connection. If we spin it around here, 12 volt DC down here, AC 240 volt, which we're using to run the fridge right now, which I plan on using to run the fridge on pretty much that as a second battery. Up the top here, if we open this up, this is your solar connector, which is not an Anderson plug, which I don't know how I feel about that. This hasn't got Anderson plugs, but I think that's just something that could be added in the future. It'd be bloody beautiful. I don't really know why. I think I'm just stuck in the phase of Anderson plugs being really handy. But anyway, that is a solar connector, 15 amps max. I believe you can get up to a 500 watt panel into this. 240 volt mains plug for when you're using this as a portable battery. You can connect it to mains, recharge it quick as. This is just the reset, the breaker, sorry, to reset. Now I'm no expert on 12 volt batteries or electrical or lithium, all that sort of stuff, but I do know this is a 85 amp hour at 12 volt battery. And the inverter is an 1800 watt inverter. I'll leave a link to a Will Prowse video, who is he's the man, he knows stuff on 12 volt, lithiums, all sort of battery gear. I'll leave a link to his review here because he goes through everything on these and raves about them. So check his video out if you want to know the nitty gritty about these. But I just think when you compare the size of this thing and the portability, compare it to these old ones, you can't really go wrong. I'll rip this out actually and put it next to it. We'll see how big they are compared to each other. So here we go. That is a 120 amp hour AGM, which weighs a ton. I'll get rid of this because this hasn't got a DC included. That is another part of the video I'll get to in a minute. But This has got an 1800 watt inverter on top of it, and they are pretty much the same size. And the solar controller as well, actually. So like I said at the start of the video there, we've been following Ecoflow for a while now. We've been looking at these deltas or portable batteries for a while, simply because I think they are a pretty good idea when they come to a second battery. The only thing holding them back is the recharge rate. When you're traveling on the road, they haven't got the ability to recharge quickly off 12 volt. You can charge them really quick off 240 volt when you're plugged in. I think you can charge in around an hour, a completely empty battery, completely full in around an hour, which is top notch. You can't go wrong there. But when recharging off grid, off 12 volt, they do take a while, and that is what has held us back for a while now. But that's where Ecoflow, part of this package and part of this sponsorship, is they've sent us out the Ecoflow Delta 2, and also this thing. This is the Ecoflow Alternator charger. We'll rip it out of the box. And this thing is, well, it's the answer to all those problems. It is pretty much a DC-DC charger for the Ecoflow on steroids. This pushes 800 watts into the Ecoflow, recharging it in 1.3 hours, which is incredible. 1.3 hours there, 800 watts. And it also is a 3-in-1 charger. The 3-in-1 being recharges the Ecoflow Delta at 800 watts. It also can be used as a trickle charger on your starting battery of the car, which is, I think it's a huge underrated feature. If you've got your Ecoflow plugged in, trickle charging your battery, you can essentially leave your car in storage for a couple of weeks and know that your battery is being trickle charged and maintained. The third feature, which I'm not too sure about, haven't really looked into enough, but they say it is a jump starter. I don't think it's full jump starter. I think it does push 800 watts back into your battery, recharging your start battery on your car quickly, but I don't think it has the ability to actually jump start your car. That is something I wouldn't mind testing out in the future, but even just a trickle charger, I think that is a really underrated little bit of gear to have in a vehicle. Especially if you leave your car or caravan. If you're setting this up in your caravan, you're trickle charging your batteries. That's a pretty cool idea. Pretty nifty little trick. Alright, so testing all this stuff out, the first thing I wanted to do was to actually see if the Ecoflow Delta 2 could power the fridge and for what sort of runtime I can get out of it. I know with the battery that we pulled out, I think we were getting around 24 hours out of that. Now we had this plugged in on the weekend into the fridge out the front of the caravan on max settings to see how long we can get it. So we'll jump back to that footage. Alright, Ecoflow's plugged in. Fridge freezer's full. We've got I think the fridge is set on 3. Yep, 3 degrees. Freezer's set on -20. You can see the poor old battered screen of the brass monkey fridge, but saying 20 hours remaining, drawing 43 watts. So we'll see how we go there. It's 1:30 now. Wait and see. And for all the OG channel viewers, the old brass monkey fridge still going hard. -19. The screen is a bit knackered. Sits out in the weather and it still loves it. Other than that, we've got an Anderson plug there, but she's doing pretty good. Well, when I first plugged it in, it said 20 hours on the dot. It has been exactly to the minute, almost to the minute, 20 hours. The fridge is still running, 4 degrees, -20. This thing has 6% battery left. As soon as that compressor kicks on, that'll probably drop right down to minutes. But you gotta remember, this is a 95 litre dual zone fridge freezer that just chews up the battery, especially when it's on the max temperature there, -20. I'm pretty impressed with that. So usually when we're traveling, we do drop this down to say -15, something like that, and it just improves the battery life. So with that down to -15, I reckon you'd easily get over 24 hours. But you definitely can't complain with 20 hours there at max. So I know this thing can run the fridge for a good amount. The next step is installing this bad boy, which I believe is a fairly simple install. I think it's only 6 steps they advertise, making it a really, really handy DIY kit. But I guess we'll get to that. We'll crack this bit open, because I haven't actually gone into this bit, seen what's in here. But they do advertise that this is an extremely easy install. Alright, so it comes with a bracket to mount this. I've no idea where I'm going to mount it. Maybe somewhere down there, if I can. That'll be pretty handy, but we'll see where we can go with that one. And a bag of cables, which I believe pretty much goes from the battery into this, into this. Nice and easy. The hardest thing is going to be running these cables from the front of the car all the way to the back here. Oh, look at that. It's all braided. That is a beaut bit of gear. Fuse included. So I'm guessing that is straight onto your battery. Then this one straight into there, and you run this all the way to the back. And then this is the little bit from the alternator charger into the Ecoflow. So these can wait. Velcro cable ties. That'd be handy to use somewhere. Well, you can't really get any more self-explanatory than this. This connects to your battery. This is a fuse. This then connects to your fuse and to the negative of the battery. And then you're going to run all this all the way back down to the back of your car, or wherever you're going to run it, into this. And then from this, there's this cord, which plugs into that, and then straight into the side, just here. Sounds easy. I think the hardest part is going to be the running the cable from the engine bay to the back of the car, to be honest. But I might just plug it all in, run it down the side of the car, turn the car on, see how it goes running it before I run this cable, and then actually spend the time to tuck it up, cable tie it up under the car and get it through here, because that's going to be bloody time consuming. So we'll get it all hooked up, plug it in, see what happens. Alright, I've got this very temporarily ran to the back. I'm going to plug this in, but it does say on there Alt in, and a little picture of a car on the one that needs to be plugged into. So let's plug it in. And it clicks in nice and strong. That's not coming out at all. To get that out, you do need a little tool, which is in here, I believe, just here. You do need a little tool to get it out, which you do not want to lose. Definitely don't want to lose that one, because it's the only way to get it in and out, unless you use some sort of little contraption like 2 screwdrivers or something. But let's get the next one in. So this one, which goes to the Ecoflow, so you've got a little picture on it as well. It has, so I'm guessing this goes into Ecoflow, and this one goes into here. Nice. I'm just going to turn this on and see if it changes at all when we plug this in. There we go, something's come up just down here. But I like that this is a right angle as well, so you can tuck that right down, it doesn't stick out. But that's pretty much it. A very temporarily put together system, but Let's fire the car up. Fire the app up as well, see if it needs any updates, then fire the car up, see what it does. All right, I've got a red light on top. I believe that's just because it's saying car battery port is under voltage. We're sitting at 12.8 on the car battery, but everything else is good. I reckon we just fire this up, and if that turns green, this should start charging. There we go. Green light, and we're charging. Recharging time, look at that, it's dropping right down. And the input is saying 680 watts. There it goes there. So I believe the alternator's charged the starting battery to full, 13.2 volts. It's then kicked over to 800 watts full power coming into this battery here. But being a Prado, these alternators they're not big. I think this is 130 amp on here. I do want to turn it down from 800 watts to a safer, I think I'm going to set it to probably 500 watts. I think that is a safer bet. You're going to get longer life out of these alternators because they're not a big alternators. I know some people are running 200 plus amp hour alternators on Ford Transits and these systems, but this is only 130 amp hour, so that's, I'd rather have a longer life in the alternator than burn it out quickly. Look at that. You can't get much of an easier install on that. The hardest parts, realistically, is going to be mounting this somewhere and running that cable from the front to the back. Look how fast that's charging. All the while being completely portable as well. The fact you can just unplug that from the side, take this wherever you need to be, that's awesome. And there we go, the compressor on the fridge is just kicked on as well, and that is showing your inputs 500 watts from the alternator, 56 watts out to the fridge. So I might shut it down and we'll have a look at the reverse charge. So I've left the lights on in the car, dropping the battery right down. It did drop under 13 volts and the red light did come on. So if I click reverse charge here, are you sure? Yes. I'm hoping it's going to start pumping power back. There it goes, look at that. The light has gone white. If I click on this, it is outputting 300 watts back into the battery. It's now at 14 volts and it's going to slowly drop down because it's hit the peak volts of 14 volts. How good is that? It gives you how long you've got remaining as well, the percentage, how long you've got remaining, the temperature, what's going where. It's a cool little app, this one. Really handy. So if I go and put the lights on, that'll drop the voltage under 14 volts and this power should kick back up. Alright, lights going on. There it goes, look at that. Holding the voltage at 14 volts. That's a big drop from the spotlights. Yeah, so that's really cool. Once it hits 14 volts, the power drops right back down. So it's not a jump starter, It is a reverse charge though, so yeah, I'd still like to try that out somewhere down the track. Yeah, definitely not a jump starter, but it is a reverse charger, and it charges your starting battery back up to 14 volts. So a really quick play around, and that is, well, it worked perfectly. That's exactly what I wanted. Been hesitating for a while now of getting one of these because it just hasn't been up to the level of recharging that quick, but that is really quick. 30 minutes to recharge that from, I think it was around 70, probably 78%, somewhere around there, but 30 minutes to recharge that while driving, can't go wrong. So I guess, get all this hard mounted where it's gonna be, leave this overnight and see how far this drops. And then tomorrow, we might take this for a drive and see in real time how quickly it does charge back up. But you can't go wrong with that install as well. That is easy, everything plug and play. Like I said, the hardest thing to do is running the cable from the front to the back and getting it tucked away, hidden, nice and neat. But a cool bit of kit. Alright, that is fully done. I spent more time rolling around in the dirt, getting filthy and dusty, but she's all done. Got just enough room behind the seat there that this can drop down, tucked away. But I guess we'll let this sit overnight, let the battery drop all the way down, and then we'll charge it up in the morning with the car running. Go for a drive and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is all going to work perfect. How easy is that? Everything on the app. Everything nice and easy. Anyway, we'll pick this up in the morning. Well, after a bit of a sleep in, the fridge is still going, fridge freezer is still going strong. 29%. 4 hours remaining, so that is, what is it now? Probably 11 o'clock. Still got 4 hours on that, so that is going good. So we'll fire the car up, head into town, fluff around in town, do a bit of shopping, have a coffee or something, and see how much we can charge this back up just while doing general duties.
Connected.
There it goes, charging. All right, after half an hour driving, about maybe 45 minutes driving around, having lunch, and then driving back to the van, we are back to 84%, which is bloody awesome. Wasn't expecting it to be that high, but that is really cool to see. I'm really impressed with this bit of kit. So yeah, overall, bloody easy install, bloody good bit of kit this one. Really easy install here. I'm really excited to keep trying out, keep testing out this Ecoflow battery charger, alternator charger and the Delta. Just see how far we can push it, see where we can take it to as well. But overall, really good bit of kit, really handy DIY plug and play kit. So I know there's going to be a fair few comments on the price of these as well. They are pretty pricey. They are, you can build a dual battery kit a lot cheaper than this, but I don't think you're going to get all the features, the app control, the Wi-Fi control that you can get in these all built into one, and being completely portable at that. Now they're not going to have all the features that a Victron kit's going to have, but they come at a real high price. They're pretty much a custom install unless you really know what you're doing with Victron. I feel that these are made for someone like me, someone that just wants to put it all together and wants it to work, not really have to muck around with all the settings and all that the Victrons can do, but have just enough adjustability in these things to keep you going. Other than that, I'd love to see an Anderson plug as well. I really don't know why. The only thing we run Anderson wise now is this little cooker, which I think we can potentially just pick up a plug for this, a 12-volt plug to Anderson. So I think I'm just really nitpicking there. But so let me know your thoughts on these systems, the Ecoflow Delta 2, the alternator charger, if you've used any of the Ecoflow stuff before, just your general thoughts on this install, or yeah, anything to do with this video or Ecoflow in general. Let me know, I'd love to hear it. If you're looking to pick one of these systems up, check out the link below there. They have got their Black Friday sales on. Like I said, we don't often take sponsorship videos, whereas this one came along and this one's actually one we feel we can use and we feel we can stand beside it. Most of the time the sponsorship offers that we get are just pretty crap really, and we don't feel like it's a genuine product, whereas this one, we're happy to put our name to it and stand beside it. But anyway, that is going to do us for this video. Huge thank you to Ecoflow for sponsoring the video, sending these out, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers for watching. But the coolest thing, these can be used absolutely anywhere. Completely portable.